Thank you for joining the Approachables podcast. My name is Princeda8thseed, and I promise you, this may not be the dynamite, but we are the fuse that ignites the explosion. Today, I have a special guest. This is my brother from 30 some odd years, going way back, a pioneer, first black quarterback in Cedar Hill Longhorn history, the pride of Duncanville, Texas. My man, Mr. D'ville Blaq. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing good. Before we get started, we're going to already do my thing, and we're going to do some fact checking. Not the first black quarterback. If you tell that to people in City Hill, they will be mad and tell you that Burt Milner was way better than I ever was. So we're not going to do Burt like that. But I feel you. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love.
First black starting quarterback, maybe?
Again, the people that was there before us,
right?
Burt Milner is a god.
Okay.
Don't put me and Burt in the same thing.
But we definitely had to do some more research on that, man. But to bring it to present, biggest story going on today in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas is this big old ice storm. So how's that affecting you and your family, and what are you doing to protect yourself from the weather, brother?
Well, what was wild, at least on my side of town, it was overblown. I'm looking out the window now, and it ain't that bad. I FaceTime my cousin John this morning, and he's in Shreveport. He showed me what it looked like out there. It's way worse. My mom sent me some pictures from Grambling, Louisiana. Way worse. So actually, I'm good, man. I'm looking pretty good. If I wanted to, I think I can go outside and drive. I'm not, but to answer your question, man, we got stocked up on the essentials, the non-essentials, the other essentials.
The spiritual essentials.
Yes, absolutely.
See, that's what's up, bro. Shoot, that's what's up. I mean, and the thing about it, once a year, Dallas, Texas, we get something similar to this. Now, it varies from year to year. Last year, I can remember it lasted maybe a day or two, or at the most a week. And I'm not sure, was it around this time of February or March or something like that?
It's always in February or March. Every year, it's always in February or March. And actually, what's wild, like you say, you've been here a long time. I've been here since I was 5. I was telling my cousin Junior, this was the first time I ever seen them sand the roads before the storm. All this time, like you say, it happened every year around February, March, but we never prepared. This is the first time we've ever gotten prepared, which is probably why it's not that bad out there.
How about this? I've always known for Dallas, Texas, not to even have sanding trucks or maybe the snow plows, which is not snowing that hard, but I did look outside, and where I'm at, I'm further down into the downtown area of Dallas than you are, and I did see ice on people's roofs, a little ice on the road, things like that. Even on my porch, just a little touch of ice, and I can't tell if that was snow, but it rained a little bit and it froze over. But one of the biggest things about Dallas is it seems like that we haven't been in the past prepared for this type of weather. And we've had to borrow snow plows and things like that from Oklahoma when it's really, really bad. I don't know if that's good or bad, because if we went into creating vehicles or buying vehicles to deal with this type of weather, and we don't get it that often, would that be a waste of money to just pull it out for a week or two, like we said? Or how would you feel about
that? That's one of those things. I feel like it could go either way. So first off, I have no clue how much that would actually cost the city, but I'm certain that they spend way more money on things that are not necessary anyway. But I would say just make up a number. If the sanding trucks cost $100,000 each, if you don't use them that often, you'll still pay that off within like 10, 11, 12 years. So, and you can use those things way on down the line. So I feel like it'll pay for itself eventually, but clearly the city didn't feel like it was necessary until now. But I could go either way. I'll be honest. I don't have a strong opinion on that, to be honest.
Yeah. And speaking of the city and spending money now, as long as I've known you, you've been, pretty political and pretty involved, and I'm pretty concerned about community issues going on in Dallas. What do you think now is the most concerning issue in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that the city should be concerned with, and what do you think public money should go? What is the most pressing issue out there right now?
So the first thing that pops up, like you said, I can go deep in the weeds, but the first thing that pops up is that the governor of Texas, the white supremacist Abbott, he has I can't remember right now off the top of my head if he's passed this bill or if he's in the process of passing. But anyway, they passed a school voucher, or they are looking to pass a school voucher bill that will basically get rid of public education, make all schools private, and give each student a $10,000 voucher to go to, quote unquote, to go any school they want to, right? The problem with that is, and just to condense it, because it's a lot to it, but the problem with that is, say if you have a kid in South Dallas, and the nearest private school for him to go to is in North Dallas. It's supposed to be school choice for the kids. They can go to any school they want to, right? But that school has to accept you in. So what if they don't want that kid for whatever reason? Then the next closest school to that is in Oak Cliff. They say they don't want that school for whatever reason. So now you got this kid who has the $10,000 voucher, but he has nowhere to go. Now what?
And to be clear, and I just researched this, what you're talking about is the Texas Education Freedom Accounts. As it reads, applications are open soon, beginning February 4th. So that's 2 weeks. Parents can submit applications for the Texas Education Freedom Accounts program. Education Freedom Accounts are designed to open doors, expand opportunities, and give each Texas child the chance to learn in the environment that fits them best. First awards will be available to participating children for the 2026-27 school year. So you're spot on with your assessment of what you were saying. And as far as, what if that school does not want that child? So what is there an expiration date on that voucher? Is there, I guess I have to read more on the research to see exactly what's going on. But from what you're saying, it seems like fool's gold when it comes to the education of a child.
So here's the problem. I had the main problem I have with this is that all the white supremacists, because people talk about Trump, but Texas has been doing this, the Project 2025. We've been implementing Project 2025 for 30 years now. Texas has been doing what the Trump administration is implementing the last year or so. My problem with this is that this is just another money grab for the wealthy. So what's going to happen is that wealthy parents are going to get this $10,000 grant, and now their kids are already in private school. So now that's going to knock 10 grand off of their tuition and just make it easier for them to go wherever they want to go. Basically, this is just the white supremacists putting money in the rich people's pockets. They're looking to privatize education, healthcare, everything, right? Because then they get to control the pricing. And again, I'm going to the top of my head, so I haven't researched this. So if we do this for real, I'll have my stuff. But you know what I'm saying?
No, you're fine.
Yeah, but basically, again, this is just Project 2025 that the Trump administration has implemented in federally, but we've been doing it now for 20 years. And since they're implementing these things federally, it now gives the Texas white supremacists even more freedom to implement their plans, to basically line their pockets, lock us out of everything, lock the black and brown people out of everything, and basically try to implement a Jim Crow 2.0. And that's not hyperbole. That's not hyperbole.
No, well, I thank you for educating me on this, because this is, I have to be honest with you, this is something that I wasn't aware of until you brought this to my attention. And now that I'm doing a little research on it while we're doing this podcast, the Approachables podcast, once again, I'm your host, Princeda8thseed, and I have my special guest, D'ville Blaq, on here. We're talking about a wide variety of things. As for right now, we're talking about the education system and the manipulation of the education system that's going on in Texas. And just to elaborate on what you just talked about, it is saying on their website, on the website of Texas Education Freedom Accounts. I want to be clear for anybody out there that's interested, they can look this up. Texas Education Freedom Accounts, as D'ville Blaq was saying, for private school students. They do have, from what I'm reading, hold on just a second, a participating child who attends an approved private school or a pre-K or kindergarten program will receive 85% of the estimated statewide average amount of state and local funding per student in average daily attendance for the most recent school year, as calculated by the Texas Education Agency. TEA, the Texas Education Agency, has set this amount at $10,474 for the 2026-2027 school year. So this is the, I guess the year for the what do you call it? The practice run year. So after this year, possible it could go up, possible it could go down. And I want to emphasize where it says per child, not per household, per child. That means a lot right there. That means a lot.
But here's the thing, and you're right, it's a test run, and not just for the economics of it. But again, their plan is to get rid of public school, period, and make all schools like
charter schools. Yeah.
Yes. Not even charter schools. I mean, I guess I haven't looked into that, but I guess technically a charter school could be considered a private school. But again, what they want to do is get rid of public education.
Right.
Which is part of Project 2025, the Trump administration, and they've gutted public education federally, like on day one. So, but that's their ultimate goal, is to get rid of public education, which, by the way, here's another fun fact. I just learned this reading this book. And again, I'm off the top of my head, so I don't remember the book. But public education started by freed slaves. The people in South Carolina, once they were freed during Reconstruction, which was the closest America has ever come to fulfilling its promise, to give everybody the American dream. People don't know that it's like a 20-year period after slavery was abolished, called Reconstruction. There were like 2 Black elected congressmen in South Carolina, and basically they started long story short, they started the public education system as we know it. So all these educated white people, they have the freed slaves of South Carolina to thank, because they started the idea of public education.
So,
which is why they want to get rid of it, by the way, because it was started by us.
And you alluded to it earlier. This has been going on little by little for, I would say the past couple of years. I can make the argument 5 to 10 years. I lived in Houston for a period of 4 years between 2019 and 2023. And I vividly recall where they were getting rid of the libraries in the public schools and turning those into detention centers. Basically, it's like, hey, you want to this is your option. If you want to be disruptive, instead of us putting in the extra mile to try to correct you, we'll just go ahead and just separate you away from the kids who don't want to learn. And then we'll just send you out into the world after your school term is over with. And then whatever happens, happens. And that feeds into that public school to prison pipeline that we've all been hearing about for so long. And so, in your opinion, what is the solution to this? I mean, it's been voted in. It's already getting ready to happen. I mean, what can the public who opposes this type of ideology and this type of actions from the state, what can the public do about this?
So my solution to pretty much every social issue that we have is that we as a people need to wake up. I'm not one of these people that we all need to be unified. We all need to have no, it's okay to have different opinions. It's okay to go about things in different ways, but it can't be 2% of the population are aware of these things, and the powers that be know that we aren't paying attention. We're asleep. Might just be overwhelmed with life. Like, we have life, kids, bills, but those of us that are aware need to make the people that are not aware, and then those people need to wake up and realize that this affects you. So the thing with politics, voting is not the be all end all. I want to say that before I know that. But the things with politics is that people don't feel like it affects them. They feel like no matter who's in charge, no matter what happens, their life isn't going to change. It's absolutely not the truth. Everything you do in your life is affected by politics. Your light bill, the streets, if they get iced over or not, if they get sanded, your kids, how they go to school, the city, if they taking care of your streets, if there's lots out here that's overgrown, there's nothing you can't name that isn't affected by politics. And when we learn that and start to move in a way that recognizes that, then we can change it. But as long as we're just sitting back and like, oh, well, you know, it is what it is, it's not going to change. It's power to the people. That's the only thing that's going to change it. And we're going to have to make others aware, person by person. I know this is kind of a cliche, but it's true. Each one teach one, and then the next person go out and teach one, and then we become aware. We shouldn't have to wait until Trump takes away our educational system, or he steals a president from Venezuela, all this crazy stuff that's pissing people off. It shouldn't take all these extreme measures for us to come out and become involved in our everyday life.
Do you think that there's so many distractions in the world that politics has become second, third, fourth nature to the average American citizen? And what I mean by distractions is social media, sports, entertainment, everyday living, just raising your child and trying to survive. I mean, I can recall a time, and I hate to be the old man in this, but I can recall a time where even in elementary school, and I'm originally from Louisiana, and I can recall political conversations with the teachers that we had. I mean, looking back on it now, I think it may have been one of those deals to where it may have been just something a brain exercise, a mind exercise. But I can recall having to memorize all the states and capitals and the Gettysburg Address, believe it or not. And this is at a young age. This is, I'd say, around 10, 11, somewhere around there. But it was still, politics was being introduced to you. You knew that there were certain steps to what's going on in life. And I think that hey, if they're not trying to educate us on just math, history, and science, they're definitely trying not to educate us on politics in the school. So do you see other than people just taking their own interest in political issues, other than just each one teach one? Do you see any other kind of way that, because like I said, you just educated me on something, and I try to pay attention as far as politics as possible, but you just educate this whole conversation. I did not expect to, I did not know that this was going on in the Texas system. And the main reason I didn't know what was going on is because I don't have a child in the Texas school system anymore. So I'm guilty of that as well. Hey, if it's not affecting me, then why should I be concerned? Yeah. You know, so
you brought up a lot of good stuff there. So I think, again, those that know me, one of my favorite phrases is there are multiple truths, right? So everything you said, spot on. I think the most important thing you said, though, was how when we were kids and we learned these things and had to talk these topics, people are no longer, and that's what those exercises were, and what we think, that's called critical thinking. We were taught to critically think. That's actively not taught anymore. It's literally, kids are not taught to think critically anymore. And it's not just this generation, it's going back. I read something a few months ago, years ago, I don't remember when, that the average person in America, the average person reads at like a 6th grade level. That is wild. That's wild. One, that shows that, again, they don't teach that. And two, in general, people aren't curious about things anymore. And I personally believe that that's on purpose. Like I don't have any empirical evidence to back it up. This is right. This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like all those things have been stopped being taught in Texas anyway. I'm just going to talk about Texas because this is what I know. I don't know other states, but I know Texas for sure. Because again, the white supremacists have been running this Project 2025 now for 30 years. And if the people are dumb, if the people are uneducated, if the people have no curiosity, then in general, they don't know the things that are going on in this state. And I'm telling you, Texas is at the as big as this state is and as rich as this state is, Texas is at the bottom, almost at the bottom in education, in healthcare, child poverty, elderly poverty, and there's one big one I'm missing. But for all this money that this state makes, it pumps none of it back into the people. It all goes into businesses and to the wealthy, which is Project 2025, which again,
Right.
Texas, Louisiana, and I want to say Mississippi are the testing grounds for Project 2025. They've been running this playbook now for 30 years. And basically everything you just said is why people are not engaged, because to me, it was a systematic approach to disconnecting the people from what's going on and what's directing their lives every day. Because it used to be like that. This people all the time, people say Texas is a red state. It's a deep red state. 30 years ago, before this play happened, Texas was blue. Texas was a Democratic state.
Was that with Governor Ann Richards?
That was with the Governor Ann Richards.
I remember.
And then after that, that's when they started running these plays, started running this playbook. And now I watch a show called Roland Martin Unfiltered. He says all the time, because he's from Houston. He says all the time, Texas is not a red state. Texas is an unorganized state. So if we get ourselves together and get our people together, which hopefully Jasmine Crockett will be able to do this, she's coming up, it can change, but it's going to take the people.
All right. Well, hey, that's pretty interesting. That's a pretty interesting conversation. I want to switch gears a little bit because you're a married man. How long have you been married?
Shit. 22, 23 years. I don't know, man. I'm again, anyone knows me knows I'm bad with time frames. I don't have exact time, but it's like 22, 23 years. I just had a birthday last week, and I have no clue how old I'm. I'm 53 or 54 years old. I don't know. I have no clue.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because another issue affecting our community is you let people tell it is that a lot of black men aren't marrying black women. A lot of couples aren't staying together. This man, like I said, been with his wife, lovely Kawana, for 23, 24 years. And you see, at least I see, on a lot of social media platforms where they're having, I know, but I see it, where you ask about 1,000 black women what a good black man is, you're gonna get 1,000 different answers. You see this war against black men and black women have against each other. Who's doing this? Who's not doing that? A good man would do this. A good man would take care of my bills and my baby and my this and my that. And these same women who's talking about what a good man is are single. You still see the guys out there that are, openly womanizers. And it brings another negative connotation to our culture. But I asked you that question because you've been, like I said, you've been married for 20 some odd years. Y'all don't seem to be going nowhere. And I just like for you to talk to the people about what it takes to have a strong marriage, to keep a strong marriage, and what actually working at a marriage and a relationship really is. And by the way, this man has raised his child and 3 children, raised some of his wife's families. I'm some of the wife's families. So I'm talking to a pretty responsible black man right here. So for y'all to say that The responsible black man does not exist. I got one right here in the flesh that could go ahead and elaborate on what it is that he's done to be successful as far as being a respectable husband and father and key member of his family. So I'll just let you go ahead and carry it on from there.
Well, this would be a short answer because the gender wars on social media is a play. It's all just a play for clicks and likes and attention and yada yada. Most men I know, especially black men, take care of the children, raise their children responsibly. Like that's a thing in our community that goes back again centuries and centuries. Of course, you do have your dudes that ain't about nothing, whatever. We all know those guys. In fact, the generation before us, a lot of our generation, I should say, a lot of us really didn't know our fathers because our fathers weren't there. For whatever reason, that generation did not show up. And I feel like because of that, our generation
did show up. Yes. We saw mother struggle.
Yeah. So so that again, there are exceptions to every rule, but I just it's just a play. The gender wars on social media is just a play. For whatever reason, it's just a play. But I can't say as far as the marriage. So here's what I tell young people that nobody told me. In fact, before I say that, let me tell you a bit of advice. Before we got married, we were living in an apartment. And this black dude owned a dry cleaning service where he would come to your house, pick up your clothes, dry clean them back. And when he learned he was getting married, the advice he gave me was that, because like I said, it was me, my wife, fiance at the time, her little sister, my little sister now, was living with us, and our daughter, Jamelia. So it was me and 3 ladies. He was like, so what you have to learn is that they may not listen to you all the time. They may not cooperate with you all the time, but just be patient and hang in there and things will get better. That was the biggest lie, the biggest crock of shit anybody ever told me in my life.
You definitely gonna elaborate on that.
Because they're human beings. And if they're not following on with the plan, there needs to be some sort of correction, right? If we have something we're trying to do and you're actually disrupting it, then we need to stop the disruptive behavior. Now, I don't mean talk about I'm like a kid, but just the basic. So, I'm like, I wouldn't spanking my wife or spanking the kids or anything like that. But I'm just saying, if there's something disruptive to the plan, we need to alter that.
As in any partnership. If both people aren't on the same accord, then it's not gonna go well. So yeah,
and that's where I'm going. So what I tell young people is that what they didn't tell me is that this shit is hard. This shit is hard. It is not easy. You're not only marrying her, you're marrying all her family. Then this goes both ways. You're marrying all her family. You're gonna take on all their bullshit. They're gonna take on all your BS. It's not easy. It is. Sometimes it gets to the point, and I don't mind being candid because we cool now, but we was having a discussion the other day, and I was like, there was a point, I don't know, probably about 10 years ago. I didn't tell her this at the time, but I was actually looking for an apartment, like, because I was gonna move out because I was done. Like it just to the point where I just didn't want to do it anymore. But then it kind of corrected itself. Of course, we worked it out, talked through it, but like there's been several times where I was gonna be out. Like I was actually looking for the apartment to be the lead.
But I would think that's more common than not, though.
Yes.
It's gonna always be some rough patches and things like that.
That's the point. So to answer your question, I guess it wasn't sure. Was that I also have, I don't know if we can cuss, but I also have another phrase I tell people: either you like this motherfucker or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And if you do, then you will do what it takes to work it out until it becomes detrimental to you and your mental health. Then you got to go.
See, and just to bring it back to the absentee fathers of our generation, you would think that this would have been information that would have been passed down from a man in the household, um, or there was some I can recall because I had an absentee father in my household. Um, but I had friends that had fathers in their household, and sometimes they would give you a little advice.
Yeah.
Now you have to be receptive to that advice as
Yeah.
well. I can look back, my 52-year-old self could be like, well, hey, some things people were trying to tell me and it went one ear and out the other.
Absolutely.
But when it came to relationships advice, and believe you me, I love all my boys I grew up with, but we the same age, and sometimes getting advice from your peers, that's not the best route to go.
If you notice, this is something else me and Kwana talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You and I don't know if we've had more than like 4 or 5 conversations about my relationships over the entire time we've known each other.
Mm-hmm.
Can you recall us having more than 4 or 5 conversations, real conversations about my relationships?
No, I can just recall, me being frustrated, you being frustrated, bro. What's going on? And such and such and such and such. Well, hey man, let's go out and get a drink. You want to smoke?
Exactly, because I learned, this is one of the things I did learn young, is that as much as I love y'all,
mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of a way, but you know me, I just have to say it. As much as I love y'all can't tell me shit about no relationship. Like I'm looking at y'all, and it's like I'm not gonna get no
silent vest.
I'm trying to think of the word, but I'm not gonna say that. It's not likely that I'm going to get some kind of information that's going to help me with what's going on. So I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm not going to waste my time with it. So yeah, let's go get this drink and kick it.
Right, because it's hard for me to teach you something that I don't know. And if I'm in your face and hey, I got this girl this week, this girl next week, and this girl next week, which hey, believe it or not, everybody, I might just look like this now, but it was like that for a while. Okay, thank God it's not like that no more.
I'm sure it's still like that.
No, I don't, bro.
No, and I don't see that as a bad thing. So this is something else I tell young people.
Womanizing.
This is why I tell young people, include my daughter, include women.
Okay.
You don't have to be with one person. It's okay to date. And I don't mean that you need to be having sex with them. Like, that's your personal choice, whatever. I don't know. But it's okay to not be with one person. Just let these other people know. That was my thing. When I wasn't in a relationship, I did date multiple women, but I let everybody know, like, we're not exclusive. Like, yeah, I'm and I don't expect you to be exclusive. So we ain't got to bullshit each other. If I call you on a Saturday and you with somebody else, cool. I'll just call somebody else. So to me, I feel like that's healthy.
How was the reaction on that?
It differed. If they were like-minded like me, they'd be like, oh, go.
Mm-hmm.
If they were a player, they got offended because they were used to dudes running in behind them, and it's just not what I do. I don't run in behind nobody. Even my wife, I don't run in behind her. And when I say running behind, I mean, like, if you tell me that I need to be somewhere that I'm going to pick you up Saturday at 7:00. Like, wait a minute, I might have something to do. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see. It's my answer. Right. We'll see.
Now we are drawing, that our experience was from the 90s and the early 2000s. So our mentality was a little bit different. Our experience was a little bit different because, like you said, when a lot of us came from single parent households, and we kind of saw our mom struggle, and some of us made up our minds that that wasn't going to be us. We wasn't going to do that to a woman. If I find somebody, then if I have a child, that child is going to be taken care of. My responsibility is my responsibility, and I'm going to accept my responsibility. Even with the womanizing and dating, that was during a time period where people actually talked to each other. People actually had telephone conversations or were face to face. Now that we're in this text and Instagram and Facebook, Instagram type of society that we're in. You said that the gender wars are a play. I have to slightly disagree with you because it's so much that goes on with it. And even in person, when you see certain folks, because I'm starting to see that a lot of the people our age are starting to kind of act like the younger generation. They want to try to hold on to that last little bit of youth. And that goes, and to me, that goes from being a person who will be able to teach someone to someone who's just right there going along for the ride or whatever's going on in society right now. And as far as that gender war, I I think people want folks, but people want folks without willing to sacrifice what it is that they may need to do to get that person. And I think back then we were willing to sacrifice. Yeah, we all gonna come with our different flaws. There is no perfect person. Okay, it's only one perfect person that ever walked the earth, and they killed him. So everybody else, y'all are fair game. Okay. All right. So my thing, so that's my biggest thing as far as this dating. Cause see, you're not dating. So on this side, so I'm dating somewhat, but as I'm dating, I do see where these women my age, I'm not, hey, my thing is 40 and up. I can't do under 40. I just cannot do it. I'm sorry, ladies. I can't do the aqua green hair. I don't want to date Smurfette. I don't want to date the bad attitude. You know, you cussing me out. You talking about. I'm just saying. This is what I see. You know, this is what a baddie. I don't need a baddie. You know, I mean, I don't, from what that show kind of puts out there. You know, because one thing about it, people do have people love to imitate what they see that's popular. You know, and sometimes, man, what's popular ain't worth imitating. And I'm from an era just like you, where we kind of used to being diverse. We used to being our own individual. You know, you always said I like to use a word called abstract that I pulled from Q-Tip of Tribe Called Quest. But all it is just I just like being my own individual. I don't like looking like I come off an assembly line. I don't like talking like I come off an assembly line. Yeah. So you won't see me in a Gucci or Louis Vuitton belt. You won't see me just doing what it is that's out of the ordinary just so I can impress whatever the latest style is nowadays. You're gonna see me. I'm gonna be happy with myself. You can be happy with who I am, but if you're not happy with who I am, then I'm not gonna try to cater or adjust who I am to make you happy. Damn you,
motherfucker! You don't.
Exactly. And that's so. And the only drawback I got on what I just said is that I didn't learn that premise sooner in my life. I wish I just wish I would have, because there was a point in time where I did try to go along with the crowd. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I thought I was a gangster, and I had an LA Raiders hat on, and I wanted to be Eazy-E, and I wanted to be, you know, and things like that. It's like, bro, what are you doing? This ain't you. Yeah. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Find out who you are and be happy with you. And if other people, as long as you don't have any intent to hurt someone, and you know, hey, you're comfortable with who you are, then forget what everybody else says. Because think about it. Regardless, somebody's gonna have something to say. Somebody's gonna have something to say about you, regardless of what you do. So just be comfortable in your skin, you know. And hey, that goes out to you people that are dressing like you come off an assembly line, or the ones that is walking around like Smurfette. Hey, if you're comfortable with being Smurfette, don't let my words change. If you want to be an Ice Spice clone, hey, Godspeed to you, but just don't come around me with it. That's all it is to it.
I'm gonna push back a little bit on that, but first I'm gonna say this. I would have thrived in today's generation of dating where everything is online, texting, or whatever, because I rarely talk on the phone. It's like we going back in the Wayback Machine. Like you're talking about dating and a woman here, woman. I would have dated so much more. Would have been with so many more girls if I would have wanted to talk on the phone. I was an in-person talker though. Like, it's like when I did meet somebody, I got the number, I would call and be like, hey, let's go to lunch. That's how we're gonna get to know each other. What I'm not gonna do is sit on his phone for hours and hours and hours. That wasn't It just wasn't me. And like to this day, the only people I talk to on the phone is my mama, my wife, my daughter, my little sister if she called, you, and my cousin Chris, and my cousin Junior, or my cousin Joe. So it's like 8 people that if they call, if I see that number, I'm picking up. Everybody else, you don't have to text me. I'm saying that. Second, speaking to my wife again, we talk about it all the time. She has these old pictures. When she lived off of Stovall in Oak Cliff over there by it's off of Lancaster, but I can't. I'm trying to give a description.
And I know Stovall too. I'm looking right at this street, man.
Okay,
is it over by the veterans, by the VA, maybe?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So, and she has these pictures of her with these orange dookie braids and all these colorful hairstyles. So, I remember us being young, rolling through these neighborhoods looking for chicks like that. So, maybe it's an age thing. So if you don't like it now that you this age, I get it. That's fine. But we're not gonna sit up here and play like we wouldn't. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this is what this is our language back in the early 90s. We went out here looking for these hood rats with these colorful dookie braids. We're not gonna play like that. At least I was. Like I told you before, I love a hood chick. I love them. I love them to death. I married one. But yeah, going back to what you were saying though, is that I do kind of defer to you on that because I'm not dating. I am a flirter, and my wife knows I flirt, but I don't mean no harm. I ain't gonna do nothing. I ain't gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight, and women do flirt with me, so I'm paying attention. But I guess maybe I just don't see that, and maybe because it's younger women, and they don't really pay me no mind, and I don't really pay them no mind. In fact, if a young woman does pay me the kind of attention, I think it's a game. I think she's trying to set me up. Like I think, like, why is your young pretty ass messing with my old ass? So I ain't got no money for you. I ain't finna be set up. So, but again, that's the generation I come from.
And to be clear, yes, I've seen that because I'm out in the public a lot. I don't go to the spots where mainly those people are. And once again, I was kind of talking about like the social media deals and what I see, because sometimes I'll stop down and I'll look and see what kind of conversation people are having. Because I do want to know what's going on in the world nowadays too, because I think you still need to kind of know what's going on in the modern world at the same time.
See, here's the thing. Here's what's happened with social media. So I don't disparage social media like a lot of people do. Like I loved Twitter until this last Trump cycle, when it actively, again, this is not my opinion, this is what happened. And when the algorithm was changed to promote white supremacy, the app changed. It was no longer fun. Twitter was run by Black people, and it was fun. I used to love it. Now I'm gone. Instagram has kind of become, I was never an Instagram person, still not. I'm on there every now and then. But basically, my point is that social media has changed to become a play. That's why I call it a play, because you don't have real conversations on social media anymore, at least that I see. So I don't doubt you see these crazy conversations, but in my mind, comparing it to what it was 10 years ago, either people have become stupid or they become intentional. And I think they become intentional.
I think intentionally stupid.
Two things that you would say.
I mean, because I just see stuff where people, it's just unbelievable day after day. It's like, bro, the logic. Where's the logic at? Where's the thinking?
That's why I stopped going on there.
Yeah, I see people. Mainly they doing things more. They choose to do things more emotionally over logically, and you should never let your emotions take over your logic. I don't think so.
Well, another one of my favorite phrases, and I sound like an old man, but I like phrases, is people's perceptions trump reality. Always has. Always has. People are going to go with what they perceive over what's real. And that's in my experiences, that's what I've seen. Which kind of goes back to the political thing. Like I say, people say, "Oh, Trump being president don't change nothing." It changes everything. Like prices are up 20% on everything, and you just, because you're not making $1 million a year, you just think you broke. No, it's not that you broke. It's that literally prices have gone up. But because you're not living the Instagram model life, you think that's just normal. No, that's your perception, not reality.
Does it upset you that people don't see things like that coming? It's been so many examples in history where people, where the government or the higher ups, they try to blindside to society, and it's almost like, it's a recurring cycle. Does it upset you that people don't just, it's you can't foresee that this is happening because it's happened in some certain aspects of life before? Do you not anticipate the okie doke, so to speak?
I wouldn't say it upsets me. Again, anybody who knows me knows I feel deeply for my people. So right now I'm talking about Black people. I'm talking about Black people. It hurts me. It saddens me. Like I can't even think of the word, that we would allow everything that we fought for. Another thing I always remind people, like America's 250th anniversary is coming up. I think either this year or next year. This is a young country. In terms of the world, we are toddlers. Like we are babies as far as the rest of the world. So it's not even like this history is 1,000 years ago. Like Jim Crow, our parents were living in Jim Crow. Like this is not ancient history. So it saddens me that everything we fought for, that we just let it slip so easily. And like I say, now we have to wake people up for them to try to get, because once it's gone, because we hadn't talked about this, but they are literally eroding our civil rights. They are eroding our civil rights. There's a case with Louisiana coming to the Supreme Court that the Supreme Court is going to pass because they're all Trump people. It's going to knock out, I want to say 40 seats of 40 congressional seats that Black people sit in. So our power is going to be eroded literally like within the next 6 months. And once that's gone, if we stay in a democracy, it's going to take like another 50, 60 years to get that back. And we just let it go so easily. And it just saddens me that we don't seem to care. Like they're doing this in our face, bro. They're not even being, it's not sneaky. They're not trying to hide it. Just like we were talking about, and it's not about you, it's about just in general. Like we were talking about the bill. That's not a play. Like that's not, they didn't do it at a night. He literally, Greg Abbott, he tried to pass it last term about 2 years ago. Some Republicans said no. He got some more MAGA Trump people to run against those people, kicked them out, and then ran this thing. So they're not even trying to hide it, bro. They're not trying to hide it. And we just let it do it. They just playing in our faces, and we just, I don't know, man. It's just sad. So I'm not mad. I'm just sad about it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that goes right along with the disappearance of the Black neighborhoods. I can I can recall neighborhoods that was just us. Stores that was ours. I'm talking not hoods, neither neighborhoods.
No,
we can go over and eat at the neighbor's house and play football or whatever in the backyard, and that eventually eroded as well. I know that mass incarceration has played a part in that as well, as far as the separation of the families. What upsets me in that regard is how it seems like so many people are willing to go to jail. It's like jail is nothing for some folks. And you talk to these young folks, I don't know if that's the way some people have been raising the young folks, or they've been influencing them in a negative manner. But it's almost like, hey, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And if I have to go to jail, then so be it. As to when we were, younger, jail was not an option. I mean, hey,
For
you
us.
take for us, yeah, yeah, for us, yeah,
For us.
yeah.
So
Take me, take. Hey, if I gotta do a couple of traffic tickets, if I don't have a job right now and I got these warrants, well, hey, I can go sit this out. I got more time than money, but go out there and just do something to intentionally get caught, and not only that, but to bring shame to my family name, to hurt my mom and things like that. That wasn't a play that we were into, but nowadays, and maybe once again, let me know, is it perception versus reality? But it seems that the perception is that a lot of these quote unquote YNs, which I don't like that term, but the YNs are just, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna put it on social media, and if I get caught, then so be it.
okay. So that's definitely a this generation thing. I don't understand. So I'm gonna start with your first thing. So the jailbird dudes, that's always been a thing. Like I remember. And so what I don't know still things, I'm just so I remember being a kid, I was always an athlete. I was a really good athlete. People always knew I had a chance to go to college and play sports. And depending on who you talk to, some people thought I may be able to go to the NFL. So I was taken care of. So the jail dudes or the YNs or the thugs, the gangsters, whatever you want to call them back then, whenever they would go to do dirt, whenever it was going to fight, whatever it was, they'd be like, no, you go over there. This not your thing. You going to play sports. We finna go over here and handle this business or do whatever it is they was going to do. So they kept me out. And those dudes knew that they were going to jail too. So I think that's always been a thing. So I think that is a perception and reality thing. Now, do the YNs today do that, still do that? That I don't know, because I've been out of that since forever. But what is definitely this generation thing, and again, I like to tell stories too. So I had a young cousin who lived in Louisville, suburb kid, Louisville. When Snapchat was big, somehow I got on his Snapchat, and I remember him having a stack of money. Where he got this money from, I don't know, but a stack of money on Snapchat, holding it to his ear like a phone, like the kids do. And he put in the Snapchat, on my way to Rudy's. You in Louisville, finna go to the hood, which again, I love the hood. I'm all good in the hood. I ain't never had no problems in the hood. I ain't never got robbed. Ain't nobody jumped me. None of all these stereotypes about the hood. I never felt them, so I don't get it. I guess that stuff could be real, but I've always been good in the hood. But you telling me with this stack of money, you just told the whole world you're gonna go to Rudy's. Everybody know what Rudy's is, and you got this stack of money. And I'm like, and I tried to call him like, bro, are you serious? like, are you really gonna do this to him? And of course, he didn't answer the phone, because they don't answer the phone either. But that is some shit they do. This posting with the guns and the money and drugs, and like, I just don't. Like, bro, I'm so old school.
And I just think they have the wrong sense of where to get respect from. They think that's a badge of honor. That somebody gonna respect me if I post this wad of money, bro. Yeah. They don't care. Yeah. They don't care. What can I? How can I say it? What can I do to get through to you that these people don't care anything, bro? Just like you said, you a lick, bro. You can't be going around no wolves with that meat hanging out your pocket, bro. It's wolves out here.
Hungry wolves, bro.
Hungry wolves, yeah, yeah. And once again, hey, thank God that we've gotten through what we've gotten through, but it was a time where you might see two people on this podcast right now. You might have got so you might have got
got. I don't know what he's talking about. I believe the fifth.
I'm just saying, hey, I'm not a criminal. I'm an opportunist. Let me just say.
That's a great way of saying it. But I plead the fifth. Yeah. But on the real, and talking about that, and it kind of go back to what you were saying. Like, I didn't really think I was a gangster, but I did like to hang around like the knuckleheads, the gangbangers, the robbers, because the shit was fun, man. We had a whole bunch of fun. But once Jamelia got to a certain age, it just got like, I didn't want her to see me like that. You know what I mean? And that's what changed me. So it's just maturity. And for you, I'm not sure what exactly, because I don't know if we ever talked about that. If we have, I forgot. I apologize. But for me, when Jimmy got to a certain age, I just, anybody know me knows I'm not no certified criminal or whatever. But again, I did hang around the gangbangers, and I had the blue scars and the blue shoestrings, and because the shit was fun. But then I just don't want her to see me like that. You know what I mean? And that's when I started working, and it changed my life around. So I may look responsible now, but shit, it was a time. I tell people all the time, bro. It was a time where if I would have wound up in the penitentiary, y'all might be surprised, but I was hanging around dudes that was taking penitentiary chances, man. And it only take one mistake. And that's why I'm so understanding with these kids, because I remember what I was when I was a kid. So when people just throw them, I'm like, no, because I had opportunities, and I knew I had opportunities. Like I knew I wasn't no hungry wolf, because I didn't have to be no hungry wolf. You know what I mean?
Right.
I liked hanging around the wolves, but I didn't have to be one. But those dudes didn't know no better. That's all they knew.
Right.
Because they didn't see no better opportunities.
Okay.
Now again, because every time I had this conversation, people, they'd be like, well, I had this homeboy. Yeah, there are some dudes that just like chaos. They just like to fight. They like to pop guns. But the majority of people that's out here doing this shit, they don't see a better way. They really don't.
Right. And I could have put that better, because I'm the same way. I mean, I came from a good family. I knew right from wrong. Let me say that. I knew right from wrong, and I had good opportunities. I may have wanted to emulate a few rappers, just like some of these youngsters want to do. I may have fell into the wrong crowd, but ultimately we make our own decisions. And I have done some things, and I'm quite proud of saying this, that I don't have a criminal record. I'm astonished to say that, but I'm proud to say that as well.
Well said.
Yeah, because it definitely could have went either way.
Yeah.
It definitely could have went either way. And I guess from what you, just to piggyback on what you're saying, because I do believe it's kids out there who have opportunities, but they're choosing to go in the direction of what's fun.
Absolutely.
Now with our situation, just to let you guys know that we ended up in Cedar Hill, Texas, back when it was all white and it was all country. Now Cedar Hill has a different demographic right now. You go out to Cedar Hill, Texas, and you might want to think that's the hood right now, to believe it or not. But it's changed.
It's changed, but
it
ain't the hood.
But it wasn't what it was, though. It's not what it was. And what it was back then was, the few blacks that was there, we were trying to get out. We were into, hip hop and sports and things like that. And being that was such a small country town, the things that we wanted to do as young adolescents, that just wasn't there. So we had to try to get to downtown Dallas and find certain things that sparked our interest. On the way to downtown Dallas, it was Oak Cliff, it was South Dallas. That's where.
So wait. So again, I have to stop you. So when I moved from Louisiana, we moved to Oak Cliff when I was 5. So from 5 to 12, I was in Oak Cliff.
Okay.
My people were still in Oak Cliff, and I still had people in South Dallas. So I'm not from Cedar Hill. I despise Cedar Hill. Anybody knows? I despise Cedar Hill.
Gotcha.
And I went to Duncanville before I went to Cedar Hill. So basically what I'm saying is that my people were in the city. So I was in these spots even before I met you, even before when we wasn't kicking it. Like this is where I was, because I was with my family. There was still some friends on the block I knew. So I had Oak Cliff roots.
Okay.
Now, of course, once you move out, they disown you and act like you've been in the suburbs your whole life. And that's cool. But I had Oak Cliff roots and still do have Oak Cliff roots.
I just know when, as we got older and wanted to go out and just didn't want to.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But I just wanted to let you know that
it was only so much we could do at the Cedar Hill Whataburger. You know what I'm saying? on a Saturday night. It's like,
I ain't go to Cedar Hill Whataburger. I went to the Camp Wisdom Whataburger.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And you led me to go to that. It's like, hey, and as we were younger, coming up, at least for me, meeting different girls and other things, That's what helped me learn the city of Dallas.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shout out to Big T Bazaar.
I already knew Big T.
Oh yeah, we go to Big T Bazaar. Shout out to the different traps that had the good herb back in the day. Shout
That's
out
what
to
you put me on to. That's what you put me on to. Yeah.
Shout out to Cherry's Liquor Store, that R.I.P. Cherry's Liquor Store. That's gone. Who was selling the underage kids?
and not only selling to underage kids, they had the fire. I don't know what they call now. Bootleg tapes. Had the
oh hell yeah!
Tapes. That's where I got all my music from.
Yep, exactly. $3, $4. Get bootleg tape and you just roll. If it don't tear up on you in the car, then shoot, you rolling all night.
But still.
And then from then on, I remember discovering Deep Ellum. I know we used to go to West End until they started tripping on us. I remember one night they kicked us out of West End and we weren't even doing that. I think the security was like, I don't know if they was cracking down on the gangs or something. We had our starter jackets on and we used to go to West End all the time. And, typical Uncle Ruckus ass security guard, nah, man, y'all can't come up in here, man. No, y'all got to leave. You got to go.
See, what's crazy, and this goes back to what we talking about, like the culture thing and perception is reality. What's crazy is that starter jackets, and that's exactly what it was, because I do remember that. And I hated West End anyway. I do shout on the Deep Ellum. I really didn't do Deep Ellum because I associated it with white people, so I never went. But then you hit me onto that. But go back to the point. Is that starter jackets wasn't even a gang thing? Like it had become, well, I guess maybe in LA it was a gang thing. I don't know, but I'm just talking about Dallas, Texas. Like starter jackets was just like a fashion thing. Like it wasn't even a gang thing, and then it turned that way.
Well,
how and why, I don't know. I guess somebody that knows much city, but that's one of those perception and reality things. Because at that time, like, so we were just high school kids just out there. I don't know. We were looking for girls at that. Well, we were looking for girls. I guess what it was. But
I think 3 or more black men hanging together was a gang thing in certain people's eyes, and especially down there. Because like I said, West End, I used to go a lot. I used to meet people down there. R.I.P. We used to go down there. But then I will never forget one night. I have to tell this story. I was out rolling illegal, registration bad, insurance, no insurance, in my little Mustang. And I just was rolling, and I ended up going to Deep Ellum. And I ended up parking and walking around. It was the old Bond Factory. And it was this guy and this girl, they was dressed alike. That's when people used to do that back in the day. They was dressed alike. And they was coming out of the Bond Factory. And I was like, hey, what's going on up in there? Oh, man, ain't nobody up in there, man, but EPMD and DOS Effects and some dude named Redman. And I say, hold up, bro. You mean to tell me the Hit Squad is up in the Bond Factory right now on a random Tuesday night? I'm like, man, how much the ticket? Like $10. I said, why y'all left? They're like, man, they caught us having sex in the club, man. If you want this ticket stub, yeah. And so by the time I walked in there and say, man, I had to go to my car. Here go my ticket stub. Walked in there. I want to say DOS Effects was finishing up, they said. And for just to put it in context for you guys out there in podcast land, there wasn't a real big promotion on certain hip hop artists back in the day. If it wasn't on one of the major radio stations, it might have been on community radio. But if you wasn't listening to community radio, or you wasn't going inside of a record store and seeing a flyer or something like that, it wasn't promoted. So I don't know who brought the Hit Squad down here at the height of their career in like 1992. I mean, was that DOS Effects 91, 92, something like that? That was like 90, because I think it was still in high school, just got out of high school or something like that. But DOS Effects was yes.
K Solo.
Yes. And so for a random Tuesday night, for them to be just in Dallas, Texas, I'm like, whoa, I get to see EPMD, one of the most underrated groups in hip hop history. And I love EPMD, but I got to see them, and I discovered Deep Ellum. Next thing I know, word spread, hey man, went to D'ville Blaq. I say, hey bro, man, we need to go down here, man, blah, blah, blah. Discovered this club called Exodus. Got to see a bunch of underground acts down there. And, because we're both from the South, but we are hip hop purists though. We're hip hop heads. Seriously. and that's going to be another conversation for another podcast. But we are definitely hip hop heads over here. We're gonna have some disagreements on some things, which is fine. As a matter of fact, we might go ahead and just continue that now.
Bro,
huh?
I'll be glad. I'll be glad. But I tell you, it's 1 o'clock. I got some appointments, but I'm glad I had this conversation.
No, you fine, man. You fine. Matter of fact, no, because
we're gonna. Come on, now I'm interested. Now you got to go.
Okay, one thing I would never do is ask a person who their top 5 is. I think that's I think that's an egregious conversation to have.
Me too.
Okay,
yeah, we agree on that. We agree.
Okay. Now I will ask who may be a top from a certain region. There's people we agree and disagree on. Wu-Tang is one of them. Now, I don't
disagree on Wu-Tang.
You say you don't like Wu-Tang. You say you don't vibe with certain things Wu-Tang does.
They're not for me, but I've never said that they weren't good. I've never said that they aren't dynamic. I've never said that they haven't changed hip hop. They just not for me.
Okay.
And they have certain songs that what's that song that starts out woo? What's that song? It's the first song of the Forever album. Anyway,
Triumph.
Yes, I love that song.
Atomically, Socrates, philosophies, and hypotheses. Came to find I'll be dropping these mockeries, lyrically perform all robberies, flee with the lottery. Possibly they spotted me. That's coming from somebody from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, by way of Dallas, Texas. Okay, I've never been to New York, but trust me. All right. To end this, we'll go ahead and because we're gonna have to continue this conversation. But to end this, I'm gonna name 5 artists, and you let me know what you associate with them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Big Daddy Kane.
Oh, the greatest.
The greatest.
My greatest.
Okay.
My greatest.
Okay. With him, one thing I do miss about hip hop. I miss the dancers, man. I miss the dancers and the rapper, and them doing the same little synchronized dance and things like that. And if you get a chance, there's a video of Big Daddy Kane. He said he gonna do the dance for the last time. We did the leg over the head.
The greatest, my greatest, and I'm clever that. I'm glad you said that. When I say my greatest, it's for all of that. It's for the lyrics, the showmanship, the style. Like he's the reason why I start rocking a high top fade. Like all of it, bro. Like all of it.
Okay,
my greatest.
All right, Redman.
Ooh. Oh my God, I don't even know how to. Just cold. And on a personal note, that I was in a dark time in my life when the album came out, and that shit helped me get through. So he cold, man. That's a cold dude, boy. That's a cold MC. Cold MC.
We'll pay money to see him anytime.
Man.
Okay. All right. Let me throw it down south. Let me throw it to Scarface.
Oh shit. So if we're doing regions, he's definitely the greatest from the South.
Okay. So
and that's including Andre 3000. He's the greatest in the South. Again, I'm talking about everything. The man can tell a story like you in there.
Did you just say? What did you just say? What did you just say?
That's my boy. Again, it's not. Again, this is why I like these conversations. This is why I like because y'all take disrespect. It's not disrespect. It's not. It's the Barry Emmett conversation.
Oh,
Barry Emmett conversation. It's the Barry Emmett conversation because I love 3000.
Okay. Just a side note. I was in Houston. I'll never forget. It was at this place called Alley Cats. It was like a little poetry sports bar type of deal. They closed it down after COVID, but I loved it. And we used to sit in there and have hip hop conversations. And one guy from Houston, and he brought up the conversation. And he was like, man, is it about time we stop saying that Scarface is the greatest of all time? And the whole club was like, sure.
He said,
you know,
wait. He said we should stop.
Yes, there was a brother up in there saying, isn't it about time that we stopped saying that Scarface was the greatest of all time? And the whole club just like stopped, like they were looking around to see if Jay Prince was somewhere because this dude about to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa. But
it's always one nigga that love to be against the grain, and they always say some crazy, weird shit like that. I can't stand them dudes.
Okay, who in there? Okay, let's roll with a group. Let's roll with A Tribe Called Quest.
I don't know about the phrase, but they changed the way I looked at hip hop.
They changed the way I looked at hip hop. I was just, you know what? They changed the way I looked at myself. Because, okay, I'm not the biggest De La fan. There's a lot of guys that'll say De La over Tribe. I'm not the biggest De La, but
I wouldn't say that.
But Me, Myself, and I was like one of the realest songs in hip hop history. Just for the fact that, yes, that the video was depicted it perfectly. How everybody was like, this got to be the MC, you got to be a gangster, you got to no. It goes back to what we were saying earlier. You can just, be your own individual and be who you are. Okay, that song, and then to me, Tribe just piggyback off of that. Q-Tip was just so dope with the voice and everything. Phife, I give him credit for being, a good, second string MC. R.I.P. to Phife. To me, he's always a second string MC. But no. That was a great combination with Muhammad Ali Shaheed Muhammad, Tip. I thought that group needed to be there. I was actually shocked that they made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm shocked, but it's deserving. I just didn't think that they may have sold enough records or they had that much recognition to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because I really don't know the criteria. One minute you think you have to sell, 20 million records. The next is like you have to be the biggest social influencer from your music. So I really don't know the criteria to make the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I was proud of them for doing that, but I just was really, really shocked when that happened.
So I don't pay attention. I think we talked about this before, even sports. I don't pay attention to the Hall of Fame stuff. Not something I really care about. When was this? I didn't even know they made it.
Oh yeah, they made it last year, I believe. Last year, nice. 2023. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I will say this about Phife, and I know you did because you told me about it, so I know you watched it. And that documentary about them, like I say, you're the reason why I watched that. It was pretty much identified that Phife just kind of, for whatever reason, he wasn't always locked in as an artist with the group. And I feel like, and when I watched that, it explained Phife Dawg a lot to me, because some of my favorite verses from those albums are Phife. Like I can, for the most part, if you put on a Tribe Called Quest song and Phife Dawg's rapping, I pretty much know his shit word by word. That's how much I like him. But again, he was second fiddle, but like I say, I'm not doubting that. But that documentary explained why. For whatever reason, he just was never locked in like Tip was. But I do feel like if he was locked in, he may have been the star of that group. Because again, just to me personally, if you just throw one of his songs, like I know his shit word for word. I just love that dude, man, as the MC. And hell yeah, rest in power, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, the last one. I'm gonna throw out there. Not one of my favorites, and that's not a popular opinion with everybody else. Not one of my favorites. I'm not taking away from him, but he's not one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay. Busta.
Oh,
Busta
I'm with you.
Okay. I mean, you ask hip hop heads, oh man, Busta, man, but
so leaders of the new school, Busta. Yeah, because we had just really never heard nobody just outrageous and bodacious like that. But I just feel like, again, this is my personal opinion. When I listen to his albums, I just don't know if he know how to put a concise album together. Like there's no doubt he's a hell of an MC. Like he's an incredible MC. But as far as putting it, here's my unpopular opinion. I feel the same way about Nas. There is no doubt Nas is an incredible lyricist. He just knows how to put an album together.
See, and to piggyback off your point, when Disaster Strikes, can't lie, man, I was pretty disappointed in that album, man. That bust, I wouldn't bought that.
Is that the first one?
I think that's the one with yeah, and then a bunch of the rest of the shit was just predicting the end of the world. I was like, man, what the hell? You know, you know, and his hits. No, hey, I give you credit where credit due. His hits and his features, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, not knowing how to put an album together, it's like somebody in that flip mode squad or whatever should have like say, bro, no. You need to flip mode on this song and put something else up in here.
So here's another. I have a few cats like that. Off the top of my head now, from the East Coast. My biggest disappointment was Grand Poobah.
Yeah, that's everybody's biggest disappointment.
On Brand Nubian, that dude went so crazy. That first Brand Nubian, he went so crazy. And then he dropped that album, and it was like he wasn't even trying, bro. He wasn't even trying. And
before you go, I'm gonna give you a West Coast equivalent to him.
Okay.
Is Richie Rich. Richie Rich.
I
thought that on Pac stuff and on the different features on the Loonies, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to support this dude. And I was a Bay dude. Being from the South, before the South blew, and being a hip hop head, it was the Bay. Yeah. Hey, we supported everything from the Midwest to the East Coast to Florida, whatever. But Richie Rich, I bought that album, that Seasoned Vet, bro. I was thoroughly disappointed with that.
I agree.
But now go ahead.
No. So I agree. But my last thing was going to say, I feel the same way. Method Man. That was a feature more than man. But when I listen to albums, except for the hits, it's like, what is this nigga talking about, bro? What is going on? But again, you get him on a feature. I don't know if I've ever heard him not be the best on a feature.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right. And you know what? As much as I hate to agree, I agree, man. I bought that. To Cal. It might have been 4 songs on there. To Cal 2000, that Judgment Day shit. I like that song with D'Angelo, and there might have been one more song. It was a lot of but you get it with Red on Blackout, and that bitch is a banger. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Even that album they did together, it wasn't the greatest.
The Blackout?
Yeah. Oh, that was the name of the album? Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't the greatest. Like it wasn't what I expected. Because it's Redman and Method Man. So I was expecting I don't know, blow up the world type album. So it's on me. My expectations was way up here. And it ended up being up here, which was still good. It's just I expected a lot more. But it was still a good album.
Yeah. So, and I definitely want to continue this conversation. It's like you said, man, this has been a great conversation. Once again, this is the Approachables podcast. My name is Princeda8thseed. I'm joined in with my special guest, D'ville Blaq. We are definitely going to have to do this again, my brother. Shout out and RIP to our homeboy, Big Wink, Rayshawn Hyder. They did this one for you, brother. So we're going to keep it moving. And hey, man, you enjoy the rest of your day. You try to stay warm. And I definitely appreciate you coming on for this conversation, bro.
Shit. Salute, man. I must admit this was funner than I expected. So let's do it again for sure.
I look forward to doing it again. Once again, this is the Approachables podcast where I may not be the dynamite, but we are the fuse that ignites the explosion. I'm your host, Princeda8thseed, and I'm out.
Peace.